I'm calling this Behind the Sermon. This gives you more of an idea of what was going on during my week as I got ready to preach and video the Crown of Thorns sermon. I kind of had a lot of fun doing this. I tried to make it a little more interesting than just me in front of the camera. And I hope you guys saw some different things. You guys know that I like using PowerPoints once in a while. I like using visual aids to help us understand things a little bit better. And now that I'm getting a little more used to technology, I was able to bring some of those in to this week's sermon. Hopefully you guys noticed the briars. Well, those briars were really where I wanted to be filming the majority of the sermon. But because as the week went on, it got colder and the wind started blowing, and I tried to go out there and videotape it, but it really wasn't working because the wind was blowing so much that there was a lot of interference with my speaking, and it just wasn't going to turn out very well. So I had to kind of change plans, and I had to take my sermon inside. But hopefully you guys noticed there were some different things going on with the videos, other things that you guys really should have recognized because they were all from the church. When I went into the cave, or went into the tomb there, and Jesus' linen wrappings were laying there, I really went up into the upstairs where you guys had all the props from old VBSs and from different plays and stuff that you guys had done in the past. Some of them I think were labeled Castle on the back, but it still worked pretty well for what I needed it to. So I set everything up in that upstairs room, and I turned off the lights and was able to video that, and it turned out pretty good for what I was working with there. Hopefully you guys also saw the cross with the sunrise behind it. Well, that cross was also used in plays in the past, and it's been over at the old building for quite some time now. Well, I brought that home, and I decided that I really wanted to get a picture of the sunrise coming up behind that cross. Well, like I said, things don't always turn out the way that I hoped they would. So I was getting up pretty early in the morning, waiting for a good sunrise. I carried it out there the one morning, and it just turned out to be so cloudy that I did get some pictures, but it just wasn't what I was wanting. So the next day, woke up and did it all again. Got up early, put the cross on my shoulder, and I really couldn't do it right at my house because I live in a wooded area. I had to carry it out into an open field. I carried it about 125 yards. Just threw it up on my shoulder and went with it. But let me tell you, by the time I got to where I wanted to set that down, I was ready to put it down. I weighed it. The cross only weighs about 60 pounds. But after you carry it for that far, and because it just doesn't lay on your shoulder like a sack of feed would, it was hard, it was rigid, and it was only about that wide. And let me tell you, it started to wear on my shoulder after a while. I was glad to get to the place and set it down. And then I knew after I was done trying to get some pictures, I would have to carry it back. And I was so glad to get it back to the house and back in the garage. Just a 60-pound cross. When I had to wear, or I got to wear, a coat that had some extra padding in it. Let me tell you, the cross of Jesus, I'm sure, was much larger than that. I'm sure it was a lot heavier than that. And Jesus didn't get to wear a nice padded coat to give him a little cushion. Now I know I'm not in the shape that I used to be in, but I'm also in pretty good shape compared to what Jesus was in this regard. Jesus had almost been beat to death at that point when he was made to carry the cross. It's no wonder that he was unable to after a while, and they had to get a man named Simon to help him carry the cross the rest of the way. Just thought it would be a little information, some background of the sermon, and hopefully if you go back and look over things again, or I'm going to provide some of that in this video to let you see those things again, you see that many of the things that I was using in the video were things that might bring memories back to some of you. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to being with you guys again.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. It covers every part of me. My soul is shine.